Hey guys, welcome back. Mod 130, BOA Business Basics. So yesterday we did SurveyMonkey questions 1 through 4. I know I said I was going to do 1 through 5, but I had some camera malfunctions, so I'm going to do 5 today, 5 through 10. So here we go. Make sure you have your textbooks. Your textbooks are the Business Basics, or the M-Business, I should say. Looks like that. So everybody should have their textbooks by now. If you don't have your textbook, then definitely call the business office, okay? Because you definitely need your textbook. All right, so let's do number 5. And again, I'm getting these questions off the week 1 objectives and questions. And that's found on the website, carolsclass.com, under week 1. Week 1, objectives and questions. Pull that up, and again, you'll see the document looks like this. And down here underneath the blue bar, on the right-hand side, are the 10 questions. And I don't know if you saw the video, how to post to SurveyMonkey. If you don't know how to post to SurveyMonkey, you can watch that video, and it will explain to you and show you how to do it. All right, so we left off, we finished number 4 yesterday, so let's move on to number 5. And number 5 asks, one of the most common ethical issues identified by employees exist when an employee's actions benefit themselves but not necessarily the company. What is this called? All right, so you're going to have to go to page 28. Page 28, number 5. So here we go. Page 28. All right. So on page 28, the second column here, down below, it explains what a conflict of interest is. A conflict of interest is one of the most common ethical issues identified by employees. It exists when a person must choose whether to advance his or her own personal interests or those of others or those of the company. So this is called a conflict of interest. And I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm working at an investment company, and I'm creating my own investment company, and while I'm working at this company, I should be serving their clients. But in the meantime, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to steal their clients and have their clients become mine. Or if I'm trying to sell my customers something of my own. For instance, let's say me as a teacher told you guys that you had to buy some Mary Kay from me or Avon from me in order to get a better grade. That would not only be dishonest, unethical, it's a conflict of interest. So those are some examples. There's actually many different types of examples that you can think of. But that's a conflict of interest. So while you're at work, you should be devoting your time to the benefit of your employer because they're paying you for that time. Okay, moving on. Number 6. Number 6. It asks, give an example of how a company can promote ethical behavior among its employees. Well, you'll need to go to page 31 through 33. Now, your answers are going to vary because there's actually several things that a company can do. So you'll have to read that entire passage there. There's no one place to find an answer here. But it talks about things that a company can do to promote ethical behavior amongst its employees. One of the things that it talks about is a company can create a code of ethics. Usually, like industries have codes of ethics, like the healthcare industry has a code of ethics, as well as individual companies. Another thing it could do is create a culture of honesty and trust. You know, you've heard that saying, lead by example, that a company can lead by example, and, you know, they do, and so the employees may follow suit. Other one is establish programs to promote whistleblowing. And what whistleblowing is, it's if you see something happening within a company, a particular person within the company or the company itself, it's letting either the law officials or newspapers know that something is going on, because you know, that way it promotes honesty and integrity within the company. So those are just some examples. It looks here like I'm only asking you to give one example, so just choose whichever one that you want to put there. If you have another one, or you can think of another one that the book doesn't even say, you can go ahead and put that. So your answers are going to vary there. All right, so let's move on. Number 7. Number 7 asks, the act of an employee exposing an employer's wrongdoing to outsiders is known as what? The act of an employee reporting wrongdoing. Well, a clue is what we just talked about. And if you go to page 32, what is it called when a person lets the law enforcement or newspaper or some type of officials know that something is wrongdoing? We just talked about it. It's called, what is it called?
Whistleblowing.
Whistleblowing. Okay? And it's illegal for an employer to retaliate against an employee who is doing this, who's whistleblowing against the company. So, for instance, your company is polluting the their wastewater into the rivers or something, and you whistleblow on the authorities that they're doing that. It's illegal for that company to fire you for that purpose. Okay? So, yeah, companies try to work around that, but how does it look if you get fired for some other reasons while you're doing it? So, yes. All right. Number 8. Number 8. All right, number 8. When a country is the only source of an item, the only producer of an item, or the most efficient producer of that item, it is known as what? And that can be found on page 56. Let's go ahead and go to page 56.
I think I know.
You think you know?
I think I know.
All right. Let's see if you do. All right. All right. So the answer can be found on page 56 in the side little margin here where it has definitions. Okay. And the definition of absolute advantage. Absolute advantage. This is monopoly that exists when a country is the only source of an item, the only producer of an item, or the most efficient producer of the item. So some countries have more access to certain natural resources than other countries, or some countries are more proficient or more efficient at producing. One of the things in Japan does not have a lot of natural resources, but they are very efficient producers. So that's why a lot of products come out of Japan. United States, we have a lot of space, so we have an advantage industrial companies. So depends on what natural resources are available, what types of industry, and what type of resources they have available. Okay, so that was number 8. Let's move it on. Were you right?
No.
No. Okay. Number 9.
I was going to say monopoly.
Oh, but it is a type of monopoly.
Yeah.
So you were partly right. This is the ratio at which one nation's currency can be exchanged for another nation's currency. It's known as what? And this you want to go to page 60. So you have one nation's currency. You want to exchange it for another nation's currency. You have euros, and you want to change them into American dollars, or you have pounds, and you want to change them into euros. So this can be called, and it's on page 60, I said, right? Yes. Oh, I'm sorry, 58. I was looking at the wrong page. 58, and it's down here in the second column here at the bottom. Okay? And it says exchange rates. Exchange rates. This is the ratio at which one nation's currency can be exchanged for another nation's currency. So, for instance, sometimes the pound and the dollar are very close. Sometimes the pound is worth maybe $1.5. So 1 pound might be worth $1.50 in US dollars, or vice versa. So it's not necessarily an even exchange, because sometimes a currency might have a different value than another. Depends on what the economic system and the economy is like in that other country. So exchange rate, and that was page 58. 58. Okay? So let's move on to number 10. Number 10. Okay. Number 10 wants to know, what is the difference between a quota and an embargo? So a quota and an embargo.
I think one's positive and one's negative.
No. It has to do with the degree. So let's look at page 60. Okay. So in the second column here, it talks about it. Okay. The second column here, it says a quota limits the numbers of units of a particular product that can be imported into a country. So let's say, for instance, dolls from China. It says you can only bring in 2 million, and that's a quota. That's it, no more than that. Or it says the particular product that can be imposed in a country. A quota may be established by voluntary agreement by a government to create. The United States imposes quotas on certain goods such as garments produced in Vietnam and China. Quotas are designed to protect the industry and jobs of the country imposing the quota. So let's say, for instance, they put a quota on garments that are coming into the United States. The reason why they do that is they want to protect the garment industry here in the United States so that, we don't get flooded with other countries' garments, which I think we are. But anyway, that's a quota. An embargo prohibits the trade of a particular product, or it can be imposed on a particular product or goods, or it could be on a particular country. An embargo. So let's say with North Korea, we don't do any type of trade with them, or we have an embargo on one of them is the little animal gerbils. We don't allow them in the United States, in California. It's an embargo on them. We don't allow them because they wreck the natural environment, the
ecosystem.
Yeah, they go in and they mate and they ruin the environment for other types of rodents, I guess. And not that you could ever have too little rodents or whatever, but rodents are, as much as we despise them, they're actually a beneficial part of the ecosystem. Okay, so a quota limits, an embargo prohibits. Okay? All right, well, those are the 10 questions, your SurveyMonkey questions. Tomorrow I'll do another video just going over the lecture, the PowerPoint, and I'll post that tomorrow. We will have a theory test. I will post that on, our last day is Monday. I'll post it on Friday. So you'll have the weekend to do it. It'll be due on Monday. Okay, so Monday's the last day of the week. So make sure that you check the website for all of this. We also will have a teleconference call tomorrow at 9 a.m. Please be on it. I'm not getting very good responses to that. I need people to be on this call. And I'm going to start requiring it if you want to get your participation grade. So please be on the call because I have some updates to go over with you. Okay? So I'll see you next time.